right, my best self looks like, in the words of Lil Duval, I'm living my best life, I ain't going back and forth with you. I think that's my best self though, like, you know, really being 100% true to who I am. As long as I'm true to who I am, like, I don't gotta answer to nobody but God, so that's what it is.
It is important to exhale because exhaling is where your release lies. If you do not exhale, you do not release anything. Think of it as when you take a deep breath. You inhale and you exhale because they work together in the process of the entire situation. If you do not exhale, you're withholding what you're inhaling.
Creativity is my superpower because I create clothing with it, and it makes women feel empowered and they feel good when they look at themselves. And I feel like that is my purpose because that's something that I can control and I can create that experience for women.
Time to exhale means being able to release your best self. It means tapping into that side of you that normally you would keep bottled in. I think for a lot of us, we keep ourselves sheltered. We keep ourselves in a box because either we're afraid of who we could be or afraid of what others might think. Hey y'all, it's Kayla, the CEO and founder of Time to Exhale Networks and the host of the Time to Exhale podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in, whether it be Facebook, YouTube, or Apple Podcasts. We are super appreciative of you taking the time to actually join us and be a part of the conversation. So today I have 3 very special guests whom I'm going to introduce to you in just a moment. But I want to let you know that today we are talking about minding your business. And I don't mean mind your business like mind your business, stay out of mind. I mean like mind your business like the startup that you've created, your entrepreneurship journey, and what that looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with introducing you to the 3 special guests that I have with me. First, we have Phil Brown, who is the CEO of Fresh Fades Barbershop, and he's also a celebrity barber. We have Melissa, who is a stylist as well as she's also the CEO of Unscripted Styles. And then we have Lizelle with us, who is the CEO of the Vision Clothing brand. We're going to start off with Lizelle, and we want him to introduce himself to us. So Lizelle, who are you and what do you do?
What's going on? What's going on? Lizelle here, CEO and founder of the Vision Clothing. You can check us out on tvc.co or at Immortalzelle on Instagram. And I am a Houston fashion designer.
All right, Melissa.
Hey, Kayla.
Hey, girl.
My name is Melissa Alacott. I am the CEO of Unscripted Styles, which is an upcoming styling company that I have going on right now, and just a lot of like creative directing and stuff with fashion shows.
Dope. And Phil.
All right, I'm Phil Brown. I go by Fresh Fades. I'm CEO of Fresh Fades. I have a couple other businesses as well. Celebrity barber to a lot of different celebrities. And, you know, I'm here as entrepreneur for a fact.
All right, well, Phil, we're going to start with you.
Okay.
So,
Put them in the hot seat.
right.
Yes,
So
sir.
how did you get started with your businesses? Was there someone who introduced you to the game of entrepreneurship, or was it something that, or a yearning desire that you already had in you?
Well, I feel like, honestly, everything that we start out of, life put us in these situations, you know. For us cutting hair, it was a skill that was taught to me through life circumstance. I didn't get haircuts, so I had to cut my own hair. I got really good at it. Other people started noticing it, and I started doing it professionally as soon as I graduated from high school. And, you know, honestly, my business just led to a lot of different other opportunities for me. You know what I mean? Cutting young artists when they're in high school. End up turning out to be famous artists, you know what I mean? And then, you know, once you have your popularity up, it leads to other things like clothing lines and things of that. Things of that nature.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's how I got started. Life circumstances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Lizelle, would you say that life circumstances kind of pushed you into the entrepreneurship journey? And if not, what was your inspiration to get you to where you are?
Most definitely, I could say life circumstances pushed me to go more towards entrepreneurship, but clothing in particular, I would say just more of like my lifestyle, kind of, you know, just always been into fashion, always been a fan of just art, designer, non-designer, whatever it may have been, and just not being able to afford, you know, high-end, high-brand pieces of clothing back then. You just kind of did what you had to do with what you had. So if it was just me bleaching jeans, making them distressed, cut off, you know, you had the same pair of pants, and you just kind of like, you know, so it's like that creativity kind of start there. And eventually it just kind of branched off to people always asking like, hey, what's that, where you get that from, where you buy that shirt from, this pants, you know, and it was just like, I would one day love to say, oh, it's from my brand, it's me, I made it, you know what I mean? So that's what really just like, it really pushed me to be like, man, I could do this, you know what I'm saying? So that's what made me take it more serious, just seeing that like, okay, I might have a real touch with this, you know what I'm saying? It just kind of kept pushing and pursuing through there. As far as that, just jumping over that barrier of being like scared to just jump or scared that people may judge, I could say that held me back a long time. You know, just like, I would hate to create some, mass produce something like that. And you know, you design clothes too. You know, you want people to like what you create. You know what I mean? So it's like you would hate to make something, and it's just like somebody like, oh no, that's whack. That's just trash. That's this or that.
Piece is serious.
But it's like, man, what I noticed about fashion, even today, especially, it's what you make it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It don't necessarily have to look like something that's already been done or something so particular. It just has to be what you make it.
Right, like authentic kind of.
Right on.
So Melissa, let me ask you this. When did you know that this was the journey that you wanted to take? Like, this is it. This is what you want to do.
I kind of feel like because I always find myself back in it. So, you know, a lot of times, like, you know, from a cliche standpoint, it's like, okay, since, you know, being young, I've always wanted to do this. But for me, it's like, I've always like lived that lifestyle of like wanting to feel good, and like for me, clothes make me feel good, and it doesn't necessarily have to be Gucci or Louis, but just dressing up, going out, and things of that nature. Like, I want to be fly, and like I always like, and that's why the Unscripted Styles came into play, because I feel like in the industry of fashion, there's so many trends, there's so many wavelengths of different things, so you kind of feel like you have to follow like a certain protocol. But for me and my business, that's why I say it's unscripted, because in the fashion world, you never know what you're gonna get. And so that's kind of what makes me like, I don't necessarily say I have this kind of style or this kind of style. It's just really like unscripted, because fashion has no script, you know?
I love that.
Yeah, thank you.
I love that so much. So Phil, I have a question for you. You've been in business for quite a long time now. How long exactly?
Well, I'll say I've been in business for myself. I was actually pushed out in the streets to business. I was working for a guy that didn't understand me. He started getting jealous, so I was starting to do real good in my business, and he just, you know, fired me. I came back and it was a box on my station. To make a long story short, I actually started my business in my apartment.
Wow.
Yeah, I bought a chair, got a mirror, and you'd be surprised at people that believe in you more than you believe in yourself.
That's major.
And it actually builds your confidence level to believe in yourself. I can do more than this. You know, I'm more than this chair and this mirror and this apartment.
Right on.
And you know, and honestly, I really feel like I just spoke a lot of things into existence. Like, so when I moved from my apartment, I moved into a house, and I went around for my neighbors didn't think I was like some type of drug dealer or something. Because all these people keep coming to my house in nice cars and a haircut. Make a long story short, I knocked on their door and said, hey, don't worry about it. I have a barbershop in the year. I had no plans on having a barbershop. And man, it just worked itself out where 8 months from me speaking those words, you know, it started off with a customer. He believed in me. He said, you're better than this garage. I'm going to start looking for you a shop. I said, nah, I don't have any money. You know, I can go on and on and on how remarkable this story is, but make a long story short, he got them to approve me, no money down, no credit check. You know, chairs in there, you know, something to start with, a foundation. And I just turned the foundation into something great. And as I'm growing, my customers are growing. You know, I've been cutting this guy since he was like 7th grade. He giving me music. I hear it. It's jams, you know, I like it. You know, I love it. I want to hear more. And then you look up, man, everybody loves this guy. You know what I mean? And now he taking me on tour with him sometimes, you know. And
blessings.
It's blessings, man.
Yeah, I like how you said foundation. That's fundamental. That's fundamental in building any entity, whether it's cutting hair, whether it's clothing, whether it's whatever it may be. you have to build your foundation solid.
Right.
You know what I mean? And man, that is a big push when you do have people believing in you, because a lot of people feel bad that you don't have that same burn and desire for for what you thought or what you believe was your passion, because you just got everything else of the world just weighing you down. You know what I mean? And
so what was your foundation? What was the things that were instilled in you that was like, I'm not compromising this. Like, this is my foundation and this is what I'm going to build on?
No questions asked, just hard work, dedication, and consistency. You know, like you gotta stay consistent in whatever you're doing. You gotta work hard at it, and it's just been a proven factor for me. Because like I say, my business, it was started with nothing, no investors, no lenders, no outside sources. It's just all of what you saved and what you invested back into your brand, into your business, and
it's crazy because it's like, you really have to step off the limb when you're running a business as an entrepreneur. Like, the self-doubt, like, that confidence is key, because you kind of get nervous, like, okay, should I be doing this? Should I be spending money? Like, I'm going to be broke by the end of today, but it's all a part of your business.
And the investment in yourself.
You got to go all in.
And I always tell people that, like, the biggest key is investing in yourself, because it takes you doing that for people to see your vision.
Right on.
That's so true. So what compromise, this question's for anyone really, but what was the biggest compromise thus far that you had to follow through with in order for you to continue moving successfully on your journey?
That's a good question.
For me, I can say lack of resources. You know what I mean? A lot of people that's in the fashion industry, which I understand now, building up and coming upon my second release of clothing now, resources. A lot of people don't want to share with you where they getting their materials from, where they getting their manufacturers from, where they getting their, things like that. So that's something major that I had to overcome. And it's no hard feelings towards anybody that I reached out to that didn't give me any leeway or no information or anything like that, because it was my journey that allowed me to pick out the people and the team that I work with now to get that quality product that I want. You know what I mean? So I don't regret none of it all the way through, but for me, I could say the biggest barrier that I had to or the compromise that I had to jump over was outsourcing manufacturing and getting information on what I'm doing. You know what I mean?
So that's amazing, because I feel like that's one of the things that holds us back, definitely, is not wanting to share the knowledge and the resources that we've came up on to the other people.
It's a mindset.
It's definitely a mindset.
And, it's like, it's all about competitiveness. Like, a lot of people want to see you good but never better than you. And it's really sad, because you sharing knowledge does not take away from what you have going or your journey.
Especially if it's for you. If this is your journey, you sharing that really just added a blessing to what you have going on.
To be honest, I really feel like it has something to do with our culture.
And I didn't want to go that route, but that definitely is.
Like Mama or Papa died, won't even give you the family recipe.
Right.
So it's like, we got to get out the mindset. I've been reading a lot of, books about being great. And the first thing they work on about being great, every book, all these things have this in common. They work on your mindset first, because you got to get out the mind frame that's not enough to go around. So you got in your mind, there's so much money out here, so much to go around. I can tell my brother about this, because he might not match my initiative, my drive. He got the knowledge, he don't have the drive. So, we got to get out of that mindset and start just introducing it to our little ones. We're not going to change. The little ones are going to change.
And that's and me watching successful people is, I don't study the areas that they succeed in. You know what I mean? When I'm watching these artists or anybody that's in the same line of work with me doing, rappers, whatever it may be, they whole process, their whole journey, I'm not watching where they succeeded at, how they got the big house, how they got the big whatever it may be. I'm watching everything that they failed at. You know what I mean? Man, that'll save you a lot of time.
It does.
You know what I mean?
It builds character.
It does.
Right on.
It builds.
If you could bump into somebody and they lost a lot of money investing or putting into this, you can go and say, well, I can overjump that barrier and not have to get kicked down like that. So I'm watching where they failed at. I'm not watching only how people succeed and the glitz of it, because it's a lot of hard work that go into this.
Exactly, behind closed doors.
And that's the sharing of your testimony. That's the power of sharing your testimony right there. And when I started Time to Exhale, that was the whole purpose behind it. sharing your testimony, sharing your journey, because there's somebody coming behind you who wants to learn from what you're doing, because they're inspired by your journey, and they want to be like you, or they want to not necessarily be like you, but go in the same direction. And so the power of sharing your resources and the power of sharing your journey is so important, and we don't really realize that because we always want to keep it to ourselves, and we're doing ourselves a disjustice.
Right.
So how have you guys supported those coming behind you, or
Well,
those in the same lane?
I have a rule where I try to support a black business every day. So it's like I feel like that's catchy, you know. I call it, you know, black taxes. So you know, and it's not to go against any other you know, group of people.
Right.
It's just, you know, I just know, you know, if everybody just really try to reach back and touch the people in their circumference, you know, we all would be a little bit better.
That's
you know
true.
what I mean? And we all do it. So it's, you know, it's about time that we do it.
Right.
So you know, I try to make it my thing daily.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm supporting food, whether I'm supporting beauty supply, whether I'm supporting anybody, it could be somebody selling, you know, Girl Scout cookies. You know?
Right.
But it's like we gotta do our part, and that's a catchy thing. It's almost like the flu. You know, I see you do it, I might do it.
Right, that is
It
true.
is. I agree, because it's like we live in a society to where people want you to be against each other,
Definitely.
especially within our race.
Of course.
So for me, it's more so like it doesn't take nothing to share, to text, to just be vocal about what somebody else is doing.
Right.
Because why not? We're building for the future. That's how I see it.
Right.
So if I want my future to be great, I have no problem saying, well, I know so-and-so does this. You and this person can unite and put something together. So in the long run, we have a team of something.
Right.
And so that's always been my biggest thing, is like, it's never, a problem to share anything, because you're building for a bigger purpose.
Right.
I'm glad you said that, like, especially aligning with social media.
Right.
Man, social media is the biggest, like, tool that you can use right now that's free.
Yeah.
If you do it right,
Yes,
man,
free.
a like, a share, a repost, all of that stuff free. All these, we got literally at our hand access to start whatever you want to do it however you want to do. That's why I appreciate everybody that's like rocking with everything I got going. You know what I'm saying? And I learned to cater more into the people that's actually supporting me versus trying to like push your brand and push whatever you got going on somebody who really not, you know,
Not
rocking
even
with
for
you
you.
like that. Eventually they'll come along. So most definitely we just supporting each other.
Right. Okay. So my next question to you guys is, what has been your greatest success? What does that look like for you, and how has that pushed you to continue to move forward? What did that success look like?
My greatest success is, I feel like, my legacy, my son.
Right.
I just had him. He's 9 months,
Congratulations.
you know, and he pushes me. You know, he makes me feel like the best thing I can leave him is my name and what I'm known for. So I don't want to be known for anything short of greatness. You know what I mean? Because he carries my same name. You know, so my biggest, you know, thing right now is my son, because he pushes me to do anything you see me do.
Right.
You know?
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
That's amazing. What
That's
about you,
amazing.
Melissa?
That's dope. I think for me, it's like, I come from a very big family and a very diverse family. Like, my parents are Nigerian. My mom's half. And so, like, you know, coming from an international background, there's a lot of barriers. Like, you know, a lot of my family, immediate family, don't live here. So for me, my biggest success, which I feel like I haven't even reached the peak yet, because I still want to grow and have that ability to be able to provide for them. Because I feel like a lot of people who live in foreign countries don't have the American dream like we do.
Right.
So for me, it's like setting the standard and breaking the barrier for them, to where, like, no matter where you are and where you come from, you can do it too. So
That's amazing.
Right,
That's amazing.
right.
I really like that. What about you? The vision.
Yeah, you know what I mean? For me, I don't have any kids or anything like that yet, but for me, it's most definitely making that impact. You know what I mean? Being that change, you know, even if it just start with you, to make that spark, to inspire. I feel like that's what we all here to do. I feel like we all here to love, we all here to inspire, you know what I mean? So if we can do that and pursue, which is what I'm trying to do through the vision, I'm a newer, you know, clothing brand. I'm going on like my 2nd year, you know what I mean? So just getting the message out more.
Yeah.
And that's just to spread love, inspire, and just basically, man, get everybody on the same page to work together.
Right.
Like you said, build a legacy. You know,
Right.
like, that's where my
That's what it's
Instagram
all
name
about.
come from. Immortal Zell. You know,
Yeah.
immortal meaning, you know, energy is created, never destroyed.
Right.
Okay.
So what you gonna leave when you gone?
Right.
You know what I mean? You
Dope.
wanna be
I
always
love
remembered
that.
or never forgotten. So
Right.
you gotta set your stone here. you know?
Right.
It's kind of like what Nipsey was talking about.
Right.
Right on.
And it's so interesting when Jay-Z dropped that song Legacy, I believe that's the name of
Yeah.
it, but that song has pushed me in such a way that I didn't know that I needed to be thinking about the generation coming up after
Right.
mine,
Yeah.
or thinking about my little sisters in a different light. Like they're
Yeah.
watching me
You
do
are their
these things.
leaders.
I am their leader. And it puts a different weight on it. Like it really does put a whole different weight on it when you know you have people looking up to you.
Definitely.
So how has your friend group assisted with the legacy that you want to create? Because friends can come and go, and when you're building
Like a
something
cycle.
amazing, when you're building
That's
a
a whole nother
legacy,
episode.
it's major, right? They have a huge impact. So how have they influenced, or how have they kind of just fallen off, and why? It's for anybody.
We all have.
Right.
I'll be honest with you. I've been doing this for quite some time. I started this in this game at 19. I'm 37 now.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Oh
OG.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
I didn't watch a lot of people come and go, and one thing I can say, the ones that left, the ones that stayed, I just really paid close attention who has me. Like you know, that energy has to be. We gotta be rubber. you know?
Right.
Right
So
on.
it's like if I'm willing to give you my last, you gotta at least be able to give me something. you know what I mean?
Right.
Right.
And it's not all in money. It could be just in energy. But
Right.
Right.
We watch people take from us and take from us
Yeah.
and take from us. But the people that are given to us, a lot of times we really neglect them and treat them bad. So
Right on.
you know, I made like a conscientious decision to anybody that's matching my energy, keep them. And then I made another conscious decision to have the people that's trying to grow around me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of people get stagnant. It's not saying you don't have to love them.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you got to put them in a column. You know, I love one, but the people that's drive towards greatness, I try to surround myself around, get jewels from them every day.
Right. I
So
agree.
that'll be my thing, you know.
Yeah.
I agree with that. What about you,
Successful
Zell?
people here.
Shit. Bouncing off of what you said, man, most definitely you gotta weed out people that's not supporting
Yeah.
or not matching your energy. You know what I mean? If they not on the same page as you, if they not, you know, on the same frequency as you, then sometimes it take that. And like you said, don't mean you don't literally like love them no more, but it's just like you gotta do stuff at a distance. You know what I mean? It's just like I can't drain myself trying to pull you up. You know, catching up can't be me slowing down for you to get to me.
Right.
It got to be you picking it up so you can catch up to me. So you know what I mean? As far as friends, I love the friends and the people that's behind me that support what I got going, and I'm inspiring them to go harder and do better and whatever it may be that they doing. And also I got friends that's doing real good for themselves, and I also love to surround myself around them.
Yeah.
Because you hang around 4 bosses, you'll become the 5th.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
with the whole mind frame thing, man. I've been on
Definitely.
Think and Grow Rich heavy. I've been on Rich
that
Dad Poor Dad heavy.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It always start with a mind frame shift.
It-
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't try to most definitely. I highly advise anybody that's planning to do any. You ain't got to want to start a business. Just want to become a
Enhance
better.
your mind.
Right.
Yeah, man. Just the importance of just sitting down and saying you want to educate yourself. You know, like, it don't have to be sitting down in the classroom, anything like that.
Right.
But yeah, most definitely.
So Melissa, a question for you.
Okay.
So, this question is along the same lines, but it's more specific for women. Because, we have this stereotype of we want to compete. We can't be bosses together because you can't have 2 alpha women in the same
Right.
room. Do you agree with that, or have you found it to be actually of benefit to you to have other boss women around you?
I think it's definitely like something that's been put in the air.
Right.
And people have latched onto it. Like for me, just kind of reverting back to the old question and this question, like I'm a friend hoarder, like a hoarder when it comes to friends and just longevity and things. But I've grown to realize that sometimes when you're building, you end up separating from certain people and certain environments and certain energies because it doesn't match where you're going in the direction you're taking. And a lot of times when women especially see that, they think it's like, oh, she thinks she's better than me, or she thinks, oh, we're not, like just those unconscious thinking thoughts, but people will put it into the air and make it seem like that's what it is. And in reality, it's like, we don't have to be against each other because really we can be a force together, even if we're in two different lanes.
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, I feel like, just like Phil said, there's enough for everybody to get some. But, you know, I think it's going to take someone to be the bigger person to kind of like, you know what, you're just as much as my sister, even if we're doing the same thing, because there's a market for everybody.
Exactly.
You might be designing a shoe and I might be designing the same shoe, but this person might want yours just because, you know.
It's yours.
Yeah, it's
Just because
yours.
it's
And there's
you.
nothing wrong with that.
Exactly.
But you have, and I feel like you have to be in touch with yourself to kind of have that mindset.
I like what you said, being in touch with yourself. What was the process that y'all had to go through in order to get in alignment with yourself? Because that's major.
You can
That's
start
the
with
first
me.
step.
I kicked that one off, man. That's a battle. It's
Yeah.
an everyday battle. Even
Yeah.
people could be truthful about it or not if they want to. Still, you know, going on what you got going is just being honest with yourself.
Yeah.
I think that's the hardest thing to do.
Yeah.
That's the hardest
That's
thing to
it.
do. You know what I
Being
mean?
accountable.
Man,
Yeah.
holding accountability. Getting up every
is
day.
the biggest,
You know what I'm saying? You know if you're not going as hard as you can go.
Right.
You know if you're not putting your all in. So being
Right.
real with yourself and saying, hey, I got to get up today and go harder than I did yesterday. I know I got more. I'm going to go harder.
Yeah.
You got to be real with yourself. So I could say that's the biggest step right there. That's the biggest, like, you know, barrier, biggest thing is being real with yourself.
Yeah.
I had to learn that too, because there was a time like I found myself just being lazy, like just late to everything, just moving slow, responding back whenever I felt like, and I was like, you know what? You're not you. And you can't expect for people to want to support you or believe in your brand when you're not even putting in the full effort.
Right.
And there's a book that I started reading. It's called The Artist's Way, a spiritual creativity to a higher learning. And so reading that book, it kind of just made me realize that you kind of have to put that effort in order to go and be 110.
Right.
So
Yeah, definitely.
Dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. I'm listening there. To be honest with you, I really feel like the biggest thing is just getting over yourself. And getting over yourself is looking in the mirror while you're brushing your teeth and really understanding your bad habits. You know? The things that really, the things been holding you back since elementary.
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
Only you would know
yeah,
that.
only you would know that. And other people know it too because they tell you, you just don't listen. Like, you know,
and
like,
nobody likes being told about themselves.
yeah, no one likes to. So it's like, to be honest with you, that was the first thing I had to get over myself. Like, 'cause I'm truly one of the people that like to sit on their butt and chill. You know? But it's like, you can't do that. You know, you got responsibilities. You're trying to be great. You can't be great at the house. You know, on the couch. You know what I mean? You gotta shake hands and hug people. That's how you know, that's how you lead to greatness.
Right. Because they say, you know, insanity, I'm not sure who the quote is from. I probably should, but I don't. But insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. And if you want to go to a new level, you got to do things you've never done before. Go to places you've never seen before and things of that sort. And I think that I'm definitely in that space right now as I'm elevating, where foreign stuff are kind of just things that are unknown to me are starting to kind of come into my journey, and I'm just like, I have no choice but to walk through it. It don't feel good. It's fearful. You know, it's really scary to me. Like walking into a place that you've never been in before. It's scary.
That's what
faith comes right with it.
Faith.
Yeah.
A man with no faith is a man with no hope. So
Yes,
really,
that is true.
Really believing in yourself.
That is true.
A lot of stuff happen outside of your comfort zone.
Yeah, that is true.
Staying
And those are
comfortable.
those greatest things too.
Exactly.
Those
Exactly.
are those greatest things.
So speaking of, we're going into our next levels. We all talking about the good things that we got going on. So what's up for 2020? We'll start with you, Lizelle.
Oh man, so 2020, we living that right now. I got a pop-up shop today actually. It's going on from 6 to 10 p.m. Appreciate you. Downtown, 708 Main Street. And I'm gonna have a few things lined up that I'm dropping this year, and I plan on crossing over and re-releasing next year as well. So
that's dope.
Just having more pop-up shops. Getting my hands on more, you know, getting more hands on, not just online releases or not just, you know, so actually getting out, meeting people, shaking hands, networking, and just more and more just getting out and building and actually getting the brand seen more. So that's more of my plans for 2020.
So question for you.
What's
How
going on?
can people support you? What are you looking for? People, the viewers who are watching this, how can they support you? What are you looking for? What you need from your people?
Just support.
Yeah.
Really just support. If you like the brand, if you like any clothing that you see, of course, purchase. Other than that, you know,
Right.
like we
Come
go back to
shop with me.
right on,
Right,
the
right.
likes, the shares,
Right.
things of that nature. I haven't ventured off as much into women clothing yet. But you know, if you got brothers, cousins, whoever, you know,
Right.
send them my way. This is my friend. He got a clothing brand.
Right.
So just the support of everybody.
And how can they follow you?
You can follow me at Immortal Zell on Instagram. Twitter is Immortal Zell, and yeah, it's under hashtag Division Clothing. So.
All right, well, cool. Melissa, what's up for 2020?
Crystal clear vision 2020.
Right on.
No, definitely just expanding. Like, I just feel like, and even on a bigger standpoint, like, my goal is to always, not just to be local, but to be global.
Yes.
So I feel like it is my desire to be an inspiration with,
Yeah.
and through my brand, I want to live that out. So, you know, 2020 is just all about reaching new levels and heights. So, you know, for me, if you need styling, if you're in that industry where, you know, that production, the fashion show industry, like, that's where Unscripted Styles comes into play.
Okay.
So, you know, we're all around Houston. I actually have a photo shoot tomorrow that I'm styling. It's a music video brought
that's
to you
major.
by T.
What's
London
up?
Agency.
Okay.
So, yeah, so I'll be the stylist for the shoot.
That's
so
dope.
that's exciting. But I'm also on Instagram.
Yeah, how can
at
people get to
Unscripted
you?
Styles. I have a Facebook for the page as well as a website. So it's unscriptedstyles.com. And that's just kind of like, you know, the blog posts, the services we offer, just a little more about Mel.
Okay, Mel. All right,
That's
Phil,
what's up.
what's up for 2020?
2020, okay, fresh phase. Fresh phase, we're trying to brand it a little bit more, clean it up, you know, get some barbers in there. I'm a part of, you know, barbering brought me into the light of a lot of different other opportunities. So I'm a part of a clothing line called Rich Society.
Okay.
And we're trying to get that popping.
Yeah.
I'm also on another side. I'm starting a CBD brand called Love Leaf, and I'm trying to get that popping as well. So, you know, 2020, I'm gonna be real busy, but it's like I've learned you gotta get some business partners.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
definitely.
So, I got business partners, and we got a lot of things expected from us in 2020.
Yeah,
Okay,
if
dope.
your dream don't require a team, you ain't thinking big enough.
Right.
Most
And
definitely.
I had to learn that because I'm very like independent mindset. But you'll crumble when in the
You
state,
have to.
like,
You
yeah,
have to, man.
you have to have a squad.
Shout
Yeah,
out to my
for
team.
sure.
Shout out to my team.
No, shout out to my
man. We
team,
working
too.
hard,
Girl.
for real,
Yeah.
man. We've been working
Yeah.
hard. Everybody,
Yeah.
just from support, everybody what they can do. Whether it's
Right.
from, you know, camera crew to my software engineer, man. Everybody, man. For real, you gotta have a
don't
team.
forget your mama.
Oh,
your
yeah.
mama on the team
She
too.
does.
My granny,
But
man.
that's the host of the team.
Exactly,
She taught me
exactly.
how to sew. So yeah, shout out to Granny, shout out to moms. You know, man, for real. Shout
That's
out
the
my
number
girl.
one person on your
I'm
team.
happy.
Shout out to
Second.
all the male souls.
For real, yeah, hey, for
y'all,
real,
y'all,
nah,
y'all
for
making
real.
a statement for us.
Yeah.
For real, man. It's
Yeah.
like that's why I got in that lane. It's like it's crazy because people be surprised.
Yeah,
like,
people
what?
kinda like,
You
you
sold?
sold?
Yeah, you
Right.
sold.
Like,
Why is that so?
Like the first time I heard Rich Guys sold, I was
Yeah.
very impressed.
Yeah.
Right on.
So it's like to
Yeah.
see another black designer,
Right
you know,
on.
coming up in the game, man. I just, you know,
Yeah,
shake
I'm
your
on
hand.
Man,
while I
Hey,
can.
yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
Right,
Oh,
right,
no,
right.
yeah,
Before
I'm
you
be
blow
around,
up.
man.
Right.
I'm be around. It's a lot of hard work and it's a lot of pressure, especially being a male when you sew, because it's like they're expecting that, you know, you're not gonna be as punctual as a women is. You know what I mean? But it's
They're not
like
gonna take it as serious.
Yeah.
I really do. That's the
Yeah.
crazy part.
Right.
Just-
Or not be a man.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you'll be surprised at that.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
So,
the
but
that's the
You
I
do
res-
have to
I
be
respect
comfortable.
it,
Yeah,
you
you
know,
do.
I
You
respect
do
it,
have to
man.
be
You gotta be
comfortable. Do take that.
Because you're gonna
take
be in
that.
every avenue, so you gotta be comfortable, you gotta
Yeah.
be loving, you gotta
Right
be
on,
respectful.
right on.
So,
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, guys, for joining me on today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
It's a blast.
Yeah,
man. It's a
yes.
blast. It's a
And
blast.
blast and a blessing.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, if you are watching via Facebook Live, if you're listening in on Apple Podcasts or watching the replay on YouTube, we appreciate you for taking the time out to tune in with us. Stay tuned for the next Time to Exhale podcast recording. We'll be posting it in just a few. Have a great day.